Hey everyone, it's just a quick look at one of my most recent Gundam builds. This is the HG 1/100th scale Gundam Double X from the G Falcon pack. It was first released in 1996 and mine was printed in 2015. So a very old kit and new old stock to some degree as well. This is painted. Let me just give you the context real quick of what it's supposed to look like for folks who aren't intimately familiar with this rare older kit. It's supposed to look like that. So now this is a fully painted kit, but this has the intended colorways plus a little bit of extra detail added into the weapon. I mean, they cheated a little bit. Again, this is a painted kit, but that's what it's intended to look like. So I did change things up quite a bit with its colors. And the reason that I did this was that I bought the kit for the G Falcon. I'll cover that in a separate video. And I ended up with just this Gundam left over, effectively. Free Gundam for me, effectively. And I ended up just using it as practice. Just practice for painting and detailing. So I did a few things to this to customize it up. First of all, obviously the paint scheme itself, which I came up with blind. I did not have time to test out the colors. I just mixed them in the palette or in little reservoirs, and then just went ahead and painted, put everything on sticks and painted everything up and just prayed, basically. Didn't see what it was going to look like until it was completely assembled for the first time. And then I did a little bit of weathering after the fact as well. It was a one session. I think it took me about 3.5 hours total to weather it down from just one single color in each part to where it's at right now. And I also did just a little bit of cutting and trimming and changing for the V-fin, turning it into a V-fin. Basically, I just took off it has these really chunky ones. Switch back to this, you can see it has these really, really chunky side, main fins. And I just didn't, I wasn't feeling that at all. The HG 1/100ths in that period in general, there was a whole lot of, not super deformity, but some deformity. Just the height of these tended to be kind of short and squat, and I felt like the big main fin set just really contributed to that look a little bit too much. But I mean, this thing is actually nice for a 1996 HG 1/100th scale kit. I'm impressed. I could not ask for anything better. I'm very happy with the end result here. This thing does have a lot of panel lines in it. That was nice to see. This is actually my first time using Tamiya panel liner, just the way that it worked out with where I ended up after painting everything, and then I gave it a quick gloss top coat. I'm like, okay, I can just use the Tamiya stuff. Now it's the most efficient stuff compared to what I usually do, which would be using an acrylic wash or something like that. And then I used just acrylics to get some of the like a really, really thin acrylic wash to get some of the dirtying, just some of the shading in here and dust. And did 2 layers of that. There are actually 2 different colors of yellow here. It's difficult to see. Lesson learned, I should have gone farther with the distance between the 2 shades. I wanted to have it more noticeable than that. But then I also did a very, very light white wash, stippling, dabbing with a sponge on some of the upper surfaces, and then came back and used a pen or a set of pens, just regular artist cheap ink pens, alcohol based, to do the chipping. So all the chipping is just done by hand, just individual, one little bit at a time with a few different shades of gray, mostly warmer tones, but a couple different hues of that. And that's mostly what was done on here. I think I came back and did just a little bit of highlighting, just a tiny bit with some of the lighter color. But I'm really happy with how this turned out. Oh, and the collectors back here. Apologies, I haven't watched Afterward Gundam X, except for once. It's been a while. But these things, by default, this very, 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 very toyish, super shiny chrome gold. You can't see the detail very much. It's got a nice pattern in it, that honeycomb pattern, but you can't see the detail that much. So I used a watercolor wash over this to get the actual lines to pop. So I used a very, very pale yellow mix, and mostly white with just a tiny bit of yellow in it to get the lines to be more visible. And then I took off all the rest of the gold. So it's supposed to be gold in here and then gold under here. And I just reduced that toyishness and that 90s-ness of the whole thing, because I wasn't satisfied with that. And the weapons on the back got repainted. They were originally yellow because I just did things kind of by runner for the most part. They were originally yellow, and I repainted them again with just some spray paint and gave it just a little bit of dry brushing. Just probably not enough on that. Also went over these things, so these can be folded up as well. I could definitely do a lot more on this. I could do more with the verniers back here. I could do more with exhaust, actually putting some carbon buildup. You can see some spots where there's a little bit of white from the original color as well. Oh, and these really need to be painted. I keep forgetting to paint these little ankle thrusters in. But otherwise, I'm just generally pretty happy with this thing, and really definitely happy with the model itself. The model is much better than I ever would have expected something of this vintage to be. This was not during the best time for Gunpla from Bandai, and just in general, Snap Kids weren't in a great place at this time. But hey, this one's not bad, and yeah, I'm keeping it. It's just part of the collection. Now I'll come back and do some small details to elevate it further in the future. But for now, this is it. And like I said, I'll cover the G Falcon, the space plane itself, in a separate video, because that's just entirely its own thing, its own project. I will never combine the two the way that you're supposed to. No, I don't like it. I just don't like it. But this is it for now. Again, thanks for watching. Hope that you enjoyed this, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.